We're differently abled, differently.
Welcome back. Betty is a dedicated educator who is creating a brighter future for children with autism from her own lived experience as a mother and a caregiver. Take a look at her story.
Raphael had carried him along as I was going to see the doctor for Paul. So the doctor asked me, I've not seen your son for almost 6 months now. That time he was in a boarding facility. And he told me, you know what? I don't even know whether he died. And this one you're carrying here, you cannot even see, you're the mother and you can't even see that he's on the spectrum. That is how I got to know that Raphael is on the spectrum. It was not a very funny way of being told that your child is on the spectrum. I remember visiting a lady in her house. And in this house, she told me, by the way, even this one is on the spectrum. So with those two people now telling me he's on the spectrum, that's when I went down on my knees. I prayed. I said, God, okay, I've really tried with Paul. I gave up everything just to be able to serve these children, because by serving the children, we are serving you. Because he's the one who told us to have children, yes, and fill up his world. So I told God, another one on the spectrum, God, I feel I'll not be able to manage, but please just get Raphael off the spectrum. And I started declaring that Raphael will get off the spectrum, and one day he will talk and talk very well, like someone who is gifted in speaking. He will talk like, I remember using the word, he'll talk like a TV anchor.
The main planets in the solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The reason how I got all that knowledge is because of the reading and research from computer.
Betty Jean Githinji is a mother of 4 boys.
We are blessed with 4 children, 4 boys who are on the autism spectrum, but now basically they've recovered because they don't have any traits of the autism. Apart from one who is still somewhere in the spectrum, and we are working on it.
Betty stopped working and opened a kindergarten to teach him, and thankfully the results were very good.
That is how we started the center. But initially, the center was actually a kindergarten for my firstborn. When the school where he was, after a whole year of being with him, told me he can't learn, I said, you know what? If you aren't able to teach him, I'll open for him a school and teach him. That time I was in networking and construction. I just started my first estate. I was doing the first house in a set of 12. I stopped all that just to ensure this boy got education. Do you know, in 2 years, he did 4.5 academic years. Now he's in a national school.
Betty now has an autism center to help other parents.
I train other children after my children recovered, and I saw great improvement, and they are able to do great things, being children who had some form of autism. It moved me to start a center after COVID to help other parents who have children on the autism spectrum to become better even than the average student, and it's been working very well.
Therapies and divine intervention, as Betty says, have played an essential role in Raphael's life and the center as well.
We got to go to India for stem cells, then we came back. But the therapies are what, if you don't do the therapies, you're not getting anywhere. So we did a lot of therapy for both Paul and Raphael. So now I had to go with 2 children to India. Yeah, and it was amazing. So there they trained me more on what to do with the children, how to go about it, the right way of doing therapy. After that, I was able to take up other small courses about behavior management in children. And tumeendelea, I thank God.
St. Albans Autism Center offers a variety of services, such as applied behavioral modification.
We teach each child specifically according to their need. Yes, it's not a class setup that everybody is writing the same thing. No, we teach each child at their level. Then we bring them up, especially the young ones, we bring them up to the level of PP2. Then they go to a normal school. We don't keep them in the center. Yes, and by then they've overcome their mannerisms, because a lot of children will either be crying, having tantrums all the time. They don't know how to ask for things. They don't know how to share. So we have to teach all that. We have to toilet train them. Even if they're 5 years, we still toilet train so that this child can now go to a normal school when they're able to use their toilet. You'll notice a child has a behavior like maybe flapping of hands, playing with their fingers. They're always doing this. Others will do head banging. They always bang their head against the wall or the floor. We help them overcome that behavior.
Parenting a child with autism presents unique challenges that require specialized understanding and strategies. It is important for parents to be aware of these challenges and be equipped with effective parenting techniques to navigate them successfully.
I got a boy last year. This boy, method of communication was biting. He would bite you, and then he would bite me or the teacher, and then we're supposed to figure out what he wants. If he wants milk, if he wants a book, if he wants to go out, it was very hard. So for 2 weeks, I helped him overturn that method of communication into gestures, into pointing. Then he would point what he wants, and the biting ended. That was just in 2 weeks. He stopped the biting. Now he's writing. At least he can join dots, he can color. Yes, he can color. He's 3 years, and he's talking. Now he has speech. He didn't have a single word, not even ba, not even ma. We had to start from syllables like ba, ma, to get him to say baba. Hey, now daddy. Hey, the way he says daddy. If he doesn't want to write, he will say daddy. I think that his scapegoat at home.
Betty's advice to parents with autistic children is exposure to a social environment and more.
You need to be okay with it and be okay with your child. Number 2, you have to believe in healing, in God, in Jesus. If you're not a Christian, please believe that there is a super being that can help, that is with you, because your relatives are not going to be with you. Your neighbors are not going to be with you. People can even incite other children not to play with your children. So, because they can say they are not okay. So, how do you handle that? You have to be okay with you and your God. Now, from there, love your child. Love them as much as you can. They've got no one else apart from you. Accredit them for every little achievement that they make, because we build on those small things to bring up their self-esteem, their self-confidence, and they'll be able to do greater things. Don't focus on the limitation. The other thing, for those with that applies to all children with all disabilities. Now, the other thing when it comes to autism, it's not always bad. Sometimes it's positive. Like what I've had is positive autism in 3 of them. Because this is a child who's got the mind of a Ferrari, but they have the brakes of a bicycle. Their mind moves. So tapping into that, helping this child as fast as possible is very good. Expose your children to social environment. Social meaning where other human beings are. Not on the TV, not on the phone. Mtoto akilia kidogo, sio kumnyamazisha na simu. Akililia simu ajiangushe chini. When we grew up, you cried for a sweet. Your mother would not buy. So in our generation, why are we giving this child, amejiangusha chini, anataka hiyo simu anaililia? Why do you give it? You also don't give. Because the minute you give, you've enhanced a negative behavior. That if he cries, throws himself down, that is what you're supposed to do to get a phone. So he will be doing that everywhere, because you're now making that child to understand that you do not say, please, help me with your phone. And if not now, you're not telling the child, wait, I'll give you after 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You know? Instead, amejiangusha chini, tantrum, shika simu baba. Another thing is limit TV time, limit time on the phone, limit social media time for any child, especially children who have not developed speech. those gadgets are going to make the child not develop speech in good time. Yes. So virtual autism is here with us. So let not the TV talk to the child, but instead another human being.